Yeah, and this movie's very similar. I remember reading the script and being shocked at how similar they were. And it really, because, it really just reminded me of the movie. And I see your Goonies poster in the
Yeah,
background.
got one back there.
Awesome. I love it.
Hey everybody, how are you doing?
Good.
And yourself?
Good. I loved watching this movie because it took me back to a happier time where I had just gone to Hawaii, like at the end of 2019 before all this chaos happened. So it made me forget about everything for a little bit. And Hawaii really is another character in this movie. So for you two, what was it like actually getting to physically be there, where a lot of times movies nowadays are like blue screen and stuff, and how did that help your performances?
Oh man, I mean, I think Lindsay and I both we had two completely different experiences being on Hawaii, being on Hawaii and getting to really film a movie that's based there while we're there, not having to fake anything. Both of them being incredibly positive experiences. I got to live out, I think any actor's dream of not only getting to be in a big movie, but getting to be in one of the most beautiful places on earth. That while I was lucky enough to go there a lot growing up as a kid with family there, I never got to spend as much time as I did, and getting every day to wake up to the same sunrise, the same sunset, the same beautiful beaches was an amazing, amazing experience. But there's a lot deeper meaning to that for a lot of the crew and a lot of the cast.
For me personally, I had totally never been to Hawaii before, and my character is supposed to be like one of the people who knows the most about it. So that was definitely, I wouldn't say a struggle, but it was an obstacle that I had to definitely get around. But being around all these people who are Hawaiian definitely taught me so much about how to play a character who knows a lot about it. And I learned so much being on this movie. But I think also, especially being in these crazy locations like Hawaii or even Thailand, we were really able to like immerse ourselves into our characters being in these locations.
I mean, for me, it was just an amazing moment because I was born and raised there. I was born in Maui, raised there, and moved away to LA to get opportunity. And little did I know my first big movie was going to take me right back home, and I was going to film where I grew up. It was such a nostalgic feeling. I mean, my grandma lived 2 minutes down the road from the set. So it was all just this really circle moment that I was like, I'm here in Hawaii doing what I love and in the most beautiful places. And, for a lot of people, they only get to visit there, but I had the honor of living there and growing up in paradise. So the fact that my job brought me back home, I mean, I was a happy girl.
I'm from Hawaii, so I was born and raised there until I was 8 years old, until I moved to LA. So being able to have my first very movie in Oahu, where I'm from, it meant a lot to me. And I'm glad it wasn't just some fake green screen stuff. I'm glad we actually got to go because we were going on an adventure in the movie, and it also felt like we were going on an adventure like in real life while we were filming. So it did mean a lot to me, and I got to see a good amount of my family and my friends.
And as a movie nerd, I loved how much it paid homage to the Goonies, which is one of my favorite movies. So not only are you in Hawaii and you're doing your first kind of big movie for both of you, you're also getting to kind of recreate some epic movie scenes that I think everybody around, my age or whatever wishes that they could do. Was there a moment when you just kind of had to stop and pause and just like, you were like, I'm doing it. Like, I'm a movie star. This is what I'm doing.
You're totally right. I mean, it's crazy that we're talking about 30-year-old movies now. And these are movies that shaped all of our childhood. And now we get to kind of be that same energy styled movie for this next generation.
Yeah, didn't we watch that movie while we were filming? Yeah, we very much did. We watched a lot of movies, a lot of scary movies also. But yeah, I mean, this movie's very similar to Goonies. It wasn't also one of the people who was in Goonies is one of the parts in our movies. So.
I think the biggest one for me was having Kwan on set. It was in both Raiders of the Lost Ark and in Goonies. Having just his energy there, and he brings that same fun, off the cuff, you never know what he's going to say next energy to this film, the same way that he did to these iconic films decades ago.
So we all got to meet him, and he's super cool. He was super awesome.
I mean, that was a moment when he was there. I was like, oh, this is real. Like, we're to like, I mean, and we have lots of little Easter eggs in the movie that you guys can find. That's just like so exciting to know that we're going to get to be part of, if I could even be similar, the fact that they compare a movie to the Goonies, I'm like, I'm in that. Like, that's so cool. I love the Goonies growing up and, meeting Kwan and then moving on to these big action scenes when we were in these caves, covered in dirt, getting to do these whole sequences. I mean, I was like, this is what I dreamed of as a kid, I mean, jumping from waterfalls and all the adventure that we went through. It was just, I mean, I don't even think I realized it till we were there, that was the dream right there.
I also love that Netflix sent us a little box here, and inside was Spam, which is something that during this whole quarantine, it's something I've discovered and started eating more. During quarantine for you guys, what's something that you've kind of discovered and started to love that you maybe didn't before?
Me personally, I discovered crocheting. I'm like a huge crocheter now, so I make my own sweaters and blankets. I'm like almost done with a blanket in my bedroom. It's over there. But I've also discovered a lot of TV shows. Also on Netflix, Camp Cretaceous season 2 comes out today, and I'm so excited to start watching it. That's what I've been watching. And like things like American Horror Story, those are all shows that I've been getting really into. And also like learning how to cook. I also learned how to cook over quarantine, so I think I'm very proud of that.
So during quarantine, it's been a whole roller coaster for me. I went through different stages of different things. There was a point where I was into skating, and then I realized how truly obsessed I am with acai bowls. I don't know if you say acai or acai bowls, but those. I've realized my obsession for the Vampire Diaries. I just finished that show. It's like 8 seasons long, so that was crazy. And I definitely realized how much I miss physically going to my dance studio and dancing with everyone. Because over Zoom, it doesn't feel the same. The energy doesn't feel the same. But we have to stay really safe during this time.
I'm not as strong as I look. I only went to one CrossFit class. It was a free trial. Shut up!